new approaches to old problems.
Well, the reviews aren't completed yet. Stay tuned. Might well do just that. Really surprise the socks off of you.
An economic question?
One economic question.
No, those are the ones that get you in trouble. Those economic questions. Feel pretty good about the economy.
An Atwater question.
An Atwater question?
Yeah. You're going tomorrow to speak to the United Negro College Fund. Right now, the students at Howard are protesting Atwater's on the board of Howard. Do you think they have a legitimate grievance about Atwater's conduct during the campaign?
No, and I think that it's a good thing he's on the board. I think the good thing is willing to talk to these students, and I think that'll work out just fine.
Would you like to see John?
He's doing a first-class job.
Sir, would you like to see John Tower defend himself before the Senate, go to the actual Senate floor?
I would not presume to recommend to the Senate what it should do, but Bob Dole knows that he has my full confidence in the way he's handling this matter.
But even though it's almost unique, would you like to see it happen?
I've told you my I don't think the point. I think we've got to be very careful here that we don't try to dictate procedures to the Senate. I have full confidence that the leader, if he decides to propose that with finality, will be doing what he thinks is best, and I will strongly support it.
Have you found any other Democrats?
See you in Lubbock.
Who is it? Who is it?
Well, President George Bush. As relaxed as a pound of liver and as comfortable as an old rocking chair. Handling this news conference, I'd be very surprised if any reporter there on a 10 scale didn't give him at least an 11 for his command of the facts and the very amenable and open way that he dealt with the questions. The one question there near the end from the veteran Saul Friedman of Newsday, which perhaps you had difficulty hearing or making any sense of, had to do with Lee Atwater, who was President Bush's campaign manager for a while, and who's been having some difficulty with students at Howard University, a predominantly black university, historic black university in Washington, D.C., because there's been an effort made to put him on the board of regents at Howard. And Friedman asking the president if he thought the students had a legitimate beef, and the president, as you may have heard, answering no, he didn't think so. Now, Leslie Stahl is standing by at the White House. Leslie, there have been rumblings from organized labor that the president and his administration, while on the surface appearing neutral in the strike, were really leaning toward the company in the Eastern Airlines strike. From the way the president answered the questions today, is he going to put those suspicions to rest or fuel them, particularly with his answer that, yes, Frank Lorenzo is a friend of his, and yes, Lorenzo contributed to the campaign?
Well, my own view is that he flick that off as though it were sort of an insult, that because Frank Lorenzo may have given money to his campaign that he would be influenced by him. He seemed to speak out, I thought, emotionally for the principle of free collective bargaining, but did say that he would take measures if there were any secondary boycotts. Dan, the overall impression here is that the president wants to leave a sense that he's very relaxed about everything that's going on in his administration as the criticism that he's floundering continues to mount. He said himself, I'm very relaxed. I thought that was the overall point he intended to make by coming out here, because everything he said on Eastern he said before. In fact, everything he said today he said before, but he wants to be publicly telling the American people that the criticism is not affecting him personally, and that he's brushing that off too. He says basically he's brushing off all criticism from all sides.
And Bob Schieffer standing by on Capitol Hill. Bob, is the partisanship over the Tower nomination rising or falling today?
Well, I think it's been rising in the last half hour, Dan. I was kind of listening to two things, listening to the president out of one ear and here in the gallery. As the president was speaking, Senator Dole, the Republican leader of the Senate, went to the floor and began attacking Sam Nunn, the chairman of the Armed Services Committee, saying that Senator Nunn was using unfair tactics because he had learned that he had just sent investigators from his Permanent Investigation Subcommittee down to Texas to check out some new allegations about Tower. These would not be staff members from the Armed Services Committee, but from another committee of which Senator Nunn is a member. He said it was unfair that the minority, the Republicans, hadn't been notified about it. Then Senator Nunn came to the floor and said, well, the allegations just keep on coming in, and he had been told by the White House that the FBI had been pulled out of the investigation. They're still arguing about it down there on the floor, but this situation is far from over, I guess, is the bottom line.
Thanks, Bob. And we'll, of course, have more about President Bush's question and answer session today with reporters in the White House, and more about this development. Bob Schieffer has just reported a new level of nastiness over the Tower nomination, with Republican Minority Leader Bob Dole launching a new offensive against the Democratic head of the Armed Services Committee, Sam Nunn. For right now, Dan Rather with Leslie Stahl and Bob Schieffer. We'll see you later on the Evening News.
This has been a CBS News special report. This is CBS.
Tracy Burgess before. Tracy Burgess.
Liliana, spin that wheel. There it goes, folks. There it goes. There it goes to what? Watch the spinning wheel. Liliana, you could have 95 cents here. Very good.